taken a break from fertility treatments, and while we're in this kind of waiting period, I wanted to really lean in to supporting my overall health naturally. But I'm having trouble deciding what's best for me. You can get advice from so many places, you know, but at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with it, to decide if it's really right for you. I keep going back and forth. Do I stop this? Start that? Do I test more? Do I just trust how I'm feeling? I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out. I want to do the tests. I want to do the GI map test. I want to do the Dutch test. I want to do the oat test. I want to do the blood chemistry test. I want to see where all my markers are. But you can't order these tests unless it's through a doctor. And, you know, the naturopath asked me a few more questions than the functional doctor did, but neither one of them was like overly concerned with my story, who I am, what I've done, you know, it's, I don't know. We've been trying medically to get pregnant since I was 41. I am now 44. When we first kind of went to the doctor, they discovered large fibroids in my uterus. And so we had to go through the process of getting those removed. And then that process ended up making my uterus seal itself shut, which we didn't know for about a good 6 months. Then went back to another doctor. She was able to fix that. And then we did 3 rounds of egg retrievals. All of them were unfortunately unsuccessful, so we moved on to using donor eggs. We purchased donor eggs. We're able to get 2 embryos from that. And I've just recently been through 2 IVF rounds with both of those embryos, or one each, one at a time. And one of them ended up in a chemical pregnancy, but neither one was ultimately successful. We have tried IUIs as well, which have also not been successful. I am seeing an acupuncturist and taking supplements based on what my acupuncturist has recommended. I've been trying to do like anything possible to help assist in this process, and I just feel like I'm getting. No one's like kind of looking at the whole picture of my health. The doctors at the IVF clinic are looking at, you know, the hormonal part of it, and they're also adjusting my hormones based on what their goals are. And then my acupuncturist is, you know, she's doing what she can, but I just don't have a real clear overall picture of like, you know, what am I doing? How can I support myself best and our future child, and because having 2 donor egg embryo failures is somewhat unusual, I felt like I could use some more help.
So the site, let's see right here. We'll make sure we get that.
Yeah.
And the GI stuff is definitely one of those patients.
Yeah. I would agree. And
okay.
Yeah, just having you ask that question was like, oh, actually, yes, this has been a problem for a while.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll send over some info.
It's very nice to have someone ask me questions about something other than when my last cycle was. To have someone ask me questions about my overall health in general is great.
They're the best balloons I've ever had.
credit card number whenever you're ready, okay?
Okay. And then how much are you charging to that credit
It's
card?
$485. It's $485 for the whole thing.
It's American Express.
No, it has to be Visa, MasterCard, or Discover.
Okay. I'm gonna have to. I don't know that I can get you a different credit card right now.
No problem. What I'll do, I'll text you a website. You can.
Why do I feel like everyone's trying to rip me off? I don't find that call very reassuring. He didn't even talk to me about who he was or what he did. I was all willing to move forward with him, even though it was quick, even though all this kind of stuff, until he asked me for a credit card number. And then also told me that he wouldn't use American Express. Because the reason why, I was like, okay, I'll put the blood work on American Express, because if the den doesn't deliver, I'll dispute the charge. American Express is wonderful about that kind of thing. But then he wouldn't take American Express. And now I'm like, I don't know that this is any different than signing up for a website or this like function test. He got off the phone really, really fast after I told him I was going to have to call him back with a different credit card. We're just now getting, and I think Function Health is the first of probably many. It's a membership that you pay $500 a year for, and you can get a bunch of blood work done. And then you do your first kind of basic biomarkers blood work test, 100 different lab tests, and then you follow up in 6 months with another 60 tests. You know, it doesn't have some of the other tests that the Naturopath suggested. So it doesn't have the GI map, it doesn't have the oat test or the Dutch test. But it does allow you to get a bunch of tests done that can point to any indications of needing further testing, such as those tests that I just mentioned. And what's more than that is I don't have to see a doctor. I don't have to go through a doctor to get these tests done. If I could not deal with doctors and just get the information myself, I can ask ChatGPT to assess my medical results. I can look at my medical results myself. I don't feel like I need a doctor to explain things to me. I know my medical history. I'm very intimate with my own body. So I joined Functional Health, if you couldn't tell. One of my main concerns was getting my thyroid tested, so I included all the thyroid tests for that. It's going to test inflammation. It's going to test for digestive issues. And then I get the results myself. It stays, on their little portal or whatever that I always have access to. I can bring the paperwork to a doctor if I feel like I need further testing or further explanation. I am in control of my records and their interpretations. My sister's suggestion was to, keep doing these counseling sessions with these doctors until you find one you really resonate with. It's not that that's bad advice, but that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time of me talking to people and trying to figure out, are these people going to treat me the way that I want to be treated? Are they going to do what I want? And by just joining Function Health and ordering the tests that I want done based on, I looked up what these tests meant, in ChatGPT. And some of them
I was like, okay, I don't need this test. And others, I was like, yes, this test would be good for me to include. I use ChatGPT. I don't need the personality of a doctor to feel comfortable doing these things. So I did that. I scheduled my appointments for later this month, and I can put this to rest. I don't have to sit there and search for a doctor that I'm kind of okay with, or, whatever. It's going to happen, and I'm going to be able to interpret those results and figure out if, there are things that I need to improve on or get more testing done for. And additionally, this will help me for my future, to stay healthy and to make sure I'm doing the things that I need to do to stay healthy for a very long time. That is what I've discovered. My main point in this little search that I just went through, that you joined me on, is that the doctors are just gatekeepers for the things you want to know about yourself. That's where I'm at with how I'm feeling right now. So they say that, you have to be an advocate for your own health when you go to doctors. And I never even knew how true that was. But I think that this is a great way to be more of an advocate for yourself. And I would say 100%. So you need to care about yourself. And that's what I'm doing. Oh, that reminds me. The other thing that I did this morning was I'm trying to reorient my internal clock to the circadian rhythm. So this morning after I woke up, when the sun was rising, I went outside for 5 minutes and made sure I got some sunlight. And now we're getting more sun, and that's a good thing too. My Function Health blood work appointment isn't until the end of this month, and I do have to not be pregnant for that, which means that, right now, or right about the time we should be trying, we are still going to be trying naturally, as we will not miss a month of not doing that. I am kind of counting on the fact, it's a weird thing to count on, that I'm not going to get pregnant. It's a weird thing to count on when you really want the opposite result, but historical patterns being what they are, it's very likely I will not be pregnant at that time. Also, even if I was, I don't know if they would necessarily, obviously it would change the blood work to a certain extent, but I probably could still get it done. It would just, there would be some other things to consider. Anyway, I have no idea how that would affect it, but it is nice to have this Function Health blood test work in the near future.
What I'm trying to say here is how joining Function Health has re-inspired me to take care of my health. But I think the more important message is that after joining Function Health and getting these blood tests scheduled, how at peace I felt. It was so empowering to know that in some small way, monitoring my health had been returned to me, had been put back into my own hands. Instead of trying to pull information from a bunch of disconnected doctors, infrequent procedures, exams, medical records, I was finally going to be able to have all the information in one place, with me. This video was not at all sponsored by Function Health, by the way, although I will get a referral bonus if you click the link in the video description. But this is purely my own experience, my own thoughts, and my genuine and true relief at feeling like I could take a little bit of control back. And if that's what you've been searching for also, well, like I said, the link is in the description. It's a good first step at becoming your best advocate.
Anyway, that's where I'm at for today. I guess the bridge crossing is a sign that I should end this for today. So I will talk to you again soon.